Waffle standing by right now. Willie, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you guys, too.
I'd like to ask you on the Norm Macdonald thing. Have we gotten to the point where, boy, you just can't say, and I think it was insensitive, stupid that he made the Down syndrome remark, but his initial comments didn't seem to be all that offensive to be kicked off the Tonight Show.
Well, yeah, he talked, what he was trying to get at partially was the idea that we've lost kind of due process with these situations and with these cases where, one accusation is just automatically considered guilty. And I think he was trying to express that, didn't express it very well, and then said some stupid stuff about how the victims, have been treated in these things. And, he tried to say that, somebody like Roseanne Barr or somebody like Louis C.K. has lost so much more than the victims. And that was kind of a dumb thing to say.
Well,
but, what really bothers me, and I think this is what you're getting at, what really bothers me is, God forbid you have a different thought in America these days.
Yeah.
I mean, we've really gotten to the point where we have a thought police, where you have to say what you're supposed to say, what is liberally acceptable these days in order to make a living, in order to be treated like a person. I think that's what's scary to me. I mean, when Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show, goes on and says, well, for the sensitivity of our viewers, we're canceling his appearance, and that's what the statement was, for the sensitivity of the viewers. You mean we can't disagree about some stuff now?
Yeah. I lost all respect for Jimmy Fallon. I mean, I think he should have had the guts to stand up and say, listen, let's bring him on. We'll talk about it. I'm going to put my foot down here on this show. And he didn't. He just caved. And I think that's his personality. I can't believe he let that happen.
Well, I think he wanted to run away from the people that would scream on Twitter and scream on Facebook that, oh, you're supporting this horrible human being, instead of saying we're going to have a discussion.
I think if you know Norm Macdonald and you follow his career and you know his act, you realize that awkward way of saying things is his act. Right?
Yeah, that's his act.
That's
what he does.
And sometimes he'll be telling a joke, and you kind of have to think a little bit, what is he saying? And that in itself is kind of is kind of funny. So I can see where he could step in it. But you're right. This has gotten to the point where be careful. Don't say what you think. And I do believe that this is why Donald Trump is as big as he is today, because there's a certain large chunk of this country that's just so fed up with having to be so politically correct that you can't have a differing thought.
Well, and that's the thing, and it's because it's risen now to the level of demonization, where we used to be able to disagree in this country and still be able to see each other as fellow Americans and neighbors and people that are people. But now we've attached this value to where if you don't agree with me, you are bad.
Yeah. Who knows, Willie? This conversation alone right here could be costing us all our jobs right here, right now.
Yeah, I'm probably finished. I'm okay. I had a good run.
Let's talk about, we have 3 big movies coming out this weekend. The Predator, let's start with that.
Yeah, boy, this was a great idea when I was, in high school. I loved all the big machismo and the one-liners and the violence. And it's, 30 years later now, and I'm starting to realize I've grown up. And, this movie is trying to, I think, appeal to that teenage boy that's out there, or at least the teenage boy that lives in so many men, as we see the Predator crashing to Earth. This soldier finds a piece of the technology. Now the government's after him. And, of course, the Predators are after them. And it's a gory, bloody, nasty, visceral movie. It's got all sorts of vulgar humor. These guys will never be on the Tonight Show. So I'll say 0 Waffle.
All right, that bad. The movie is called A Simple Favor. What's this one?
It's kind of a curious movie. It's mostly kind of suspenseful, mostly tense, mostly mysterious. You've got Anna Kendrick playing this mommy blogger who makes Martha Stewart look like a slacker. I mean, she is really type A. And she makes lively, the coolest woman on the planet.
Oh, you're breaking up a little there, Willie.
Vogue.
Yep.
What's that?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry about that.
Just
Am I back now?
Put your arm in the air a little bit. Serve as an antenna.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Let me get a little bit of tinfoil on the antenna.
Yeah. All right. So what did you? A lot of that broke up. What did you think of this one?
I think you've got a decent movie here. I think you've got an interesting movie. I think Blake Lively has the greatest role of her life here, this dynamic, captivating character. But the movie has this mixed tone. You feel like maybe it's making fun of a film noir, or maybe it's just quirky, or maybe it's supposed to be serious. I think that hurts it towards the end. I'll say 2.5 waffles for a simple favor.
All right, and then there's the movie that I think I'm going to want to see, and I hope so. It looks like it could be really good. White Boy Rick.
A close movie, I'll be honest with you. It's the supposedly true story of this kid in Detroit in the 1980s. He lives in 7 Mile. It's not a great neighborhood, and he gets involved with these drug dealers and with these criminal characters, and he ends up getting recruited by the FBI to be an informant. The problem is he becomes one of the biggest drug dealers in all of Detroit, and now they've got a problem.
Wow.
And I think the movie, I question how true the movie is, just, knowing what I know about this guy and what's happened here. But it's an interesting film. I think it just needs a better pace. It needs more tension. It feels like there should be so much more drama for a movie that's dealing with all of these subjects. It's like 2 waffles. Probably the best thing about the movie is Matthew McConaughey playing his father. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, and, ladies love Matthew McConaughey. That's like it or not. They
all
love...
right.
All right, so 2 waffles for White Boy Rick. All right, Willie, good stuff. We appreciate it. You have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather.